Hello everybody, Aaron the Nintintrovert here, and today we're going to be committing murder. Wait a minute. No, that can't be right. We're going to be playing Spyro the Dragon, that's it. I always get those two confused. Murder, Spyro, murder. It's a really common misconception. See, anyway, okay, let's just get right into it. Alright, we're going to be playing the first Spyro the Dragon game, and of course we're going to be playing the Spyro Reignited trilogy that came out in 2018. This is the PS4 version of the game, which we're playing on PS5, and yeah, this is one of my favorite games of all time, which I know I've said that about literally like every single game that we've played, but that's because I like playing the games that I really enjoy. So, you know, if it was my least favorite game of all time, we probably wouldn't be playing it on this channel. You know, I know maybe that'd be good for content, you know, some watching me rage at some terrible games, but I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm also not one for playing just like blind playthroughs of games I haven't played before. Maybe someday, because I do like watching YouTubers do blind reactions and things like that. So maybe someday I'll play some games that I've never played before. But for the time being, I'm just sticking with my comfort zone, just playing games that I'm already very familiar with. There's our main villain, Nasty Gnorc, or Gnasty Gnorc. I'm not sure. They pronounce it both ways. It's spelled like Gnasty, and yeah, like as a kid, you know, play this game. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. For like the early years of my life, I thought Nasty was actually spelled with a silent G because of this game. So
looks like I've got some things to do.
There's our boy Spyro, of course, and he's voiced by the great Tom Kenny in this game. And yeah, so back in the day on the PS1 in the first Spyro game, he actually had a different voice actor. He was voiced by Carlos Alazraqui, who is a very prolific voice actor. He did the voice of he does Mr. Crocker on the Fairly Odd Parents. Very Odd Parents. He does. I think he does Rocco on Rocco's Modern Life. He did Laszlo on Camp Laszlo, if anybody remembers that show. So yeah, he's a pretty prolific voice actor. He did Juandissimo Magnifico from Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah, he's got a lot of different voice credits. Not as many as Tom Kenny, though, who is best known as the voice of SpongeBob. He also does the Ice King from Adventure Time, among several other voice roles. I know I mentioned him in our... I think during the Crash Bandicoot playthrough, he came up at some point. I don't remember why I was talking about Tom Kenny, because I don't think he really voices anybody in Crash Bandicoot. But I actually kind of think maybe he does in Crash Team Racing, but that's a spin-off, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, personally, I prefer Carlos Alazraqui's voice. He kind of had a more nasally sort of voice for Spyro. Like, looks like I've got some things to do, and I don't know. I just found it kind of endearing, because Spyro, he's kind of a little bit cocky. In some ways, he can be kind of a jerk. But I don't know. I feel like that gave it a little bit more. Gave him a little bit more character, where it's like he's got this nasally voice. It's almost like he's an insecure kid, and so that's why he's putting on this tough guy persona. But yeah, with Tom Kenny, I just think it doesn't make Spyro as likable of a character with that voice, and it's also, I would say, a little bit more generic. It kind of sounds like Tom Kenny was also in Rocco's Modern Life. He did the voice of Heifer, and I feel like Spyro sounds a lot like how Heifer did in that show. So it's a very like Spyro's original voice, when it was done by Carlos Alazraqui, it sounded very different from all of Carlos's other voice roles. But yeah, Tom Kenny, he's a fantastic voice actor. Don't get me wrong, he's right up there as one of my favorites. Yeah, his Spyro voice is not the most unique voice. Like, I listen to it and I can immediately recognize, like, yeah, that's Tom Kenny. That sounds like a million other voices that he's done. And again, that's not to disparage Tom Kenny's work, but yeah, I don't know. I think the original voice was a little bit more distinct, but they replaced him with Tom Kenny for the second game Onward, and then they stuck with that for the remake. I think it would have been kind of nice if they had brought back Carlos, maybe have like an option if you wanted to do you know, both voices, but I guess that would have been you know, been more costly to get both of them in the recording booth. I love how it looks here, just the charred grass when you flame it with Spyro. It's a nice little touch here. It kind of despawns pretty quickly, though. You can see there if we go around in a circle. But that's a really nice little touch that wasn't there in the original. But as you can see, we're going around. We're rescuing a bunch of dragons. We rescued Argus. Sounds like a very Scottish-Irish sort of Viking name. My name's Argus. Eating me watermelon. So I am. We be sailing around, doing what Irish people do, eating potatoes, wearing our kilts and playing the bagpipes. I apologize if I offended any Irish people. But yeah, so yeah, we go around, we rescue all of these dragons that have been turned into crystal by Nasty Nork, as you saw in the game's opening cutscene there. We're also just running around collecting as many gems as we can. This is a sandbox style collectathon 3D platformer, which basically means you're running around, you're jumping around, and you're finding a bunch of hidden thingamajigs scattered all over the world. So yeah, we're having to rescue all of these dragons, who are essentially kind of function the same way as, you know, the stars in Mario 64 or what have you. You know, just name your collectible currency that's in every game of this genre. And then we're also finding these gemstones that are scattered all around. There's a different number of them in each level. They kind of standardized it for the Spyro games after this one. So like for Spyro 1, every level has a different amount of gemstones that you need to collect. And this isn't even technically a level that we're in. This is just kind of the hub area. Each world has its own little hub with these portals you can go into to enter a level. But we're not going to do that just yet. We're just running around picking up all the gems. We might go for 100% completion, but if you've been watching the channel up to this point, excuse me, you know to take that with a grain of salt, because sometimes I say things and then don't actually fulfill my promises. But no, I have every intention of someday, one of these days, we will go back to Crash Bandicoot and Mario 64 and get the rest of what we need there. But Spyro, I feel like 100% would probably be the easiest of any game that we've played on this channel. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. I feel like most of it we can just kind of get as we go. If I burn this bush, no. Yeah, so we've got all 100 gemstones in this area. We'll rescue Delbin. It's another Irish-sounded name. My name's Delbin. I live in Dublin, Ireland.
Keep your horns on, Spyro.
And I love how each of these dragons you rescue, so again, it's like the stars from Mario, but it's a lot more personalized. Like each one has their own unique design. They've got like dialogue. They've got their own names. It's really good stuff. And that was the case on the PS1, where they all had their own names. But I think a lot of times they reuse the same character model, or maybe change the color a little bit. But in the remake, they've got their own unique designs, their unique animations. They all look very different. We step on all these tiles, and it opens up a secret level here, which is one of the flying levels. And I misread that as Skinny Flat for some reason. I don't know why I thought that said Skinny Flat, but anyway. But yeah, we're not going to do that level just yet. We got some water here, and so in the first Spyro game, the water actually hurts Spyro, so if you fall into it, you'll die. And you'll notice this little dragonfly we have with us here that's named Sparks, and he represents our health. So right now we have full health, so it's he's yellow. And something that's really neat, I really appreciate this with the remake, is that it's reflected on the controller. So I don't know how well you can see, but that's a yellow light on the controller. If we take one hit of damage by falling into the water there or getting hit by an enemy, it turns blue. So now our controller lights up blue. We'll get hit again, and now he's green, and then the controller turns green. And then one last time, and he disappears, and now our controller lights up red, signaling that we are in danger. And I really like that. I don't know how many games there are that take advantage of the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5's light up controllers, but I think that's really neat. I don't know if it adds like a ton of immersion to the game, but it is cool. I appreciate that they went the extra mile there. But yeah, let's just hop into a level, because we've collected all of the gemstones and everything here, and see if we get our little fairy, not fairy, our little dragonfly Sparks back, because we're probably going to need it. So we're on the loading screen here. And just like in the original, you can kind of see Spyro flying off, but while it loads, you can flap your wings and blow some fire to pass the time, which I don't think you could do in the original. I'm pretty sure you couldn't. But let's see here. It's taking a little bit longer to load than I would have thought for a PS4 game that's running on PS5, which I guess they might not have went back and updated this game to to have improvements with the PS5. I really like this level. I forget the name of it. I wasn't paying too much attention to the level names when we came in here. But this I have a lot of nostalgia for. Okay, yeah, so we don't still have our dragonfly here, but what we can do is if we kill enemies, it's very weird. I don't know why or how they came up with this, but you kill like these frogs or sheep. There was like some sheep in the overworld level we were at before, you might have seen. But we kill them, and it releases a butterfly, and then our dragonfly eats the butterfly, and that refills its health, which is kind of weird. I don't fully get that. Like, why do they have butterflies inside of them, and why doesn't he just like eat the animal or whatever? I don't know. So here we've got a locked chest we can't do anything with just yet. There's a enemy with a big chicken leg, and of course on the PS1 everything. Ow! I didn't realize he did 3 whacks there. Everything was a lot more low poly, so it's kind of hard to make out what everything was. I feel like in the original he just had a club, but maybe that's just because it was so much more polygonal that it just looked that way, but it never looked like a drumstick to me. It always just looked like a club or something, like they would have used in caveman times or whatever to
but a charge attack will take care of them.
beat up a gazelle or something. I don't know what they were doing back then, but yeah, we rescued another dragon guy up here. Let's take a look at what's down here. So these guys, so there's kind of some strategy. So Spyro, he's got 2 main methods of attack in this game. He can charge, where he impales his enemies with his horns, kind of like a battering ram move, and then he can also breathe fire. And you kind of have to tailor your approach depending on the enemy that you're fighting. So this guy, he's got a metal shield. Well, he didn't put it out in front of him, but if he had, maybe one of these guys. Yeah, this guy. Our metal shield is useless against him, so we have to charge it. And this big fat guy, if we try to ram him, he's too big. So the only way to kill him is by breathing fire. So you kind of have to think, you have to tailor your approach depending on the kind of enemy that you're fighting. One other thing that's neat about our little helper dragonfly here, Sparks, is that he can actually point us to hidden collectibles that we may be missing. So if I press in, I think it's on the left control stick. Yeah, he points in a direction. It's kind of like a compass. Yeah, so he's pointing to that red gem down there that we missed. So that's another nice thing about having Sparks. He acts as health, but he also helps us pick up the gems. Not just finding them, but you can see even as I get close, he just picks that up by himself there. I don't even have to touch it. So if you're low on health and if Sparks disappears, not only are you at a disadvantage because you might get killed, but also it's a little bit more tedious because you have to manually walk into the gems to pick them all up instead of them just getting picked up and given to you directly by Sparks. But yeah, Spyro, it does a lot of cool, has a lot of cool ideas like that. You got the moon up there. I love the skyboxes in this game. That's such a weird thing, but that might be my favorite part of the remake. You'll see I'll probably stop and point out the skyboxes in most levels when we get into them, but it's like I don't think any 2 levels use the same skybox, and they're so pretty. Like, you got some that's like sunset, like they're all different colors. Later we get into some swamp levels and the sky's like varying shades of green. You got some like purple skies once we get into like the dream worlds, pink, like every color of the rainbow. We got a Shakespeare wannabe here, I guess. I think this world's the artisan's land, so I guess all the people here are kind of artsy. You got that guy with his Shakespearean get up or whatever, and then you got I think there was one painting with like an easel or whatever, and a canvas. Not sure what the guy with the watermelon was doing. I don't really know how that counts as an art form, but but yeah, I think we got all the gems in that area, so there should be more. Yeah, down here is a little path, and I think down here is where we can find the key as well. For that chest that we saw at the start of the level that was closed. Let's oh, he turned around. This guy doesn't hurt you. He just kind of bops you with his belly if he turns around and kind of knocks you back. So you got to wait till he's turned around where he's vulnerable. Again, it's not like super deep or anything, but I like how there is some strategy there to how you take down these enemies. Like what's their weak spot, where are they vulnerable and not protected by armor. And that's something that I feel like they could really expand upon in like a new Spyro game. And also I feel like they could add like some intricate puzzles, like a little bit more, make it a little bit more Zelda-esque, with some puzzles in the environment that you can solve with your flame abilities and stuff like that. I think would be really cool.
Spyro, wanna know a secret? Use the action button when you want to zoom in and look around.
Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Oh, your secret's safe with me, pal. Use the action button when we want to look around. Okay, what's the action button? It could have just said like X, or like square, or circle, or whatever the action button is, but I guess that's just up to our imagination. I mean, really, they're all action buttons when you think about it, right? I mean, every button we press, we're performing an action, so, I mean, what's an action button? But anyway, we don't need to really worry about that. We'll just open this chest here, and hopefully that'll be all of our gems, but if not, we can always have our buddy Sparks point us in the right direction. But yeah, looks like we're good. 100% level complete, so we can get the heck out of here. But yeah, I did want to say real quick, where was it at? It's over this way. Yeah, I wish there was more environmental puzzles that you could solve. Like, this looks like a Zelda puzzle right here. You got these two unlit campfires. You can light them up with Spyro. But it doesn't really do anything. Like if this was a Zelda game, you'd hear like a doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and then a chest would materialize, and you'd find something. So like I feel like in future Spyro games, because I feel like even in Spyro 2 and 3, they don't necessarily go as far as they could with like having little environmental puzzles like that. I would love for the next Spyro to be, maybe not, I don't know if it necessarily has to be fully open world, but instead of having a bunch of smaller levels, I think it would be cool if you had like maybe just like 5 or 6 like just really, really large open-ended levels where you do have a lot of little secrets and little puzzles that you have to solve in the environment and things like that. We already killed these guys and got their gems, but if you go back and kill them again, you get a little, I guess it's supposed to be a pearl, and as you can see, they're making a circle around Spyro's head there in the top corner. Where's some more of those guys at? I'll kill a few more to show some more here. Yeah, like this guy, even though his character model's him holding a gem, we already got the gem, so he doesn't have any gems to give us. But yeah, we're filling up that logo for Spyro up there, like the Paramount Pictures logo with all the stars around the mountain there. And if we get that all the way filled out, then Spyro gets another life, so it kind of gives reason to go back and defeat the enemies again, but we won't worry too much about that. I don't really see us running out of lives on this playthrough. But now let's go over here, I think, to this level. I just realized I've got a mini-map on the screen, so that's probably going to help us get around, because sometimes I do get a little bit lost in these levels, especially some of the like supercharged levels where you got to go off these supercharged ramps and make some ridiculous jumps toward the end of the game that make it a real pain when you're going for 100%. So that's going to be fun when we get into those. But yeah, having the map on the screen is definitely nice. There is a toggle where you can turn it off. I want to say it's maybe off by default, and you have to manually turn it on. But I guess I already have it turned on from my other file when I played this game originally. But yeah, I think I'll leave it on. I think initially I had it left off just to kind of preserve the original where the original didn't have it. But it's really nice. I wish every 3D platformer had a mini map like this, because even in the modern era, there's a lot that just don't. Now, a game like Crash Bandicoot, it's linear. It doesn't really need one. But Mario Odyssey, I could be wrong, but I want to say, of course, you've got a map if you go into the pause menu. But I want to say there's not a way to have just like a little mini-map in the corner like you do in, say, Breath of the Wild. So, I don't know. Those two games were both published by Nintendo and really so close together. I feel like they could have pretty easily done a little mini-map, but I don't know. I could be misremembering. Maybe there is a mini-map. But there are a lot of 3D platformers out there that just, like, even if you pause it, just don't have a map at all, and I think that's very weird. But yeah, more of them need to get with the times and have at least a map on the pause screen, but definitely a mini-map. And I guess, again, going with the, oh my gosh, he's got little claws in this version that I don't think was in the original. I think before you would just see the eyes sticking out. I guess this is kind of going with the theme of us gathering pearls to get an extra life, but you got this little clam-looking treasure chest here, I guess. It's got a lock on it, but it's not actually locked. We can just break it. And we get a Spyro statue, which grabs us another life instead of having to collect all those little thingamajigs, pearls, or whatever they're supposed to be.
Thanks, Spyro.
Thanks,
I
Spyro.
have the worst itch on the tip of
Gosh,
my
good looking
wing.
cake.
Did
Give me a
you
bite of that
know
cake.
that you get your
I wonder if
longest
each
life
layer is a
by
different
pressing
flavor. Maybe we got
the
like
jump button
strawberry on
at the
top
very
and
top
vanilla in
of
the
your
middle and
jump.
chocolate on the bottom. I don't know. We need Boundary Break. If anyone watches Boundary Break to do a they hack the cameras in games to look at stuff you're not supposed to see. We need them to hack inside that, get the camera to clip inside that frosting and see if we can see what flavor cake that is underneath. But I'm sure the developers didn't bother to model that, because why would you? But it'd be a waste of time and resources. Kill these chickens just for the sake of cruelty. We got full health, so there's really no need to. Did I just get an extra life? What did I do to get that? Did I get an extra life if I get enough butterflies, maybe? If I'm already at full health? If that's a mechanic, I didn't realize that, because I've never done that before, but I think that might have been what just happened there, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Kill that Matador goblin guy that was running from that bull. But yeah, I don't know what those green guys are supposed to be, if they're like goblins, or they probably have a name, and maybe I'm just not thinking of it. See, now this kind of goes with the artisan theme. You had that guy with the birthday cake, that chef. You got this guy here who makes meats, I guess. You got him on a skewer. And culinary arts, that's an art. But the guy with the watermelon, he just had a watermelon with a big bite eaten out of it. So I'm not sure how that fits into the whole artisan's theme of this particular world. But whatever. I think there's a secret over here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we got to glide over to this section here. We got to catch that mummy over there. Yeah, so a lot of levels have these mummies we need to capture. Well, not capture, but to defeat, because they have a dragon egg, like we just scored there. And that's another collectible for 100% completing the game, is trying to find all of the dragon eggs. I don't think you really get anything for getting the dragon eggs, or for the gems, really, for that matter. But for the sake of 100% completion, we'll get them. I think the gems, actually, you might need a certain amount of gems in order to get to the next world. I can't remember. We'll talk to the balloonist later on, who flies you to the next world, and we'll see what exactly it is that guy wants. It's either we need a certain amount of dragons or a certain amount of gems. I guess dragons would make more sense, since again they're kind of like the stars, like Mario 64, where you have to grab a certain amount to unlock the next level. But yeah, I think we're almost done with this level. We'll go over here to this rooftop or whatever. Might be the last little section here, and hopefully we're not missing anything. But we'll see. Got this thing here. We just got to keep blowing it with fire until the top comes off. And yeah, we got all of our gems, and this is probably our last dragon. Rescue Thor. Hey, you don't have a hammer.
Me, Spyro. You can always check your progress by accessing the guidebook through the pause menu.
Alright, we rescued that guy. I didn't quite catch his name because my recording equipment in front of me here was kind of blocking it a little bit. Or no, he was Thor, right? Yeah, I just saw that. I pointed it out. But I didn't really catch what he said, though, because I've got this headset on. But yeah, I just forgot that I looked at his name within the span of about 5 seconds. That's what happens when you play games and you're recording at the same time and you're trying to commentate. You forget stuff. But I don't think we're doing too bad so far, though. We've not died or anything yet, so it could be worse. But let's make our way to the next level here. So Spyro 1 is far and away my favorite of the Spyro games. Spyro 2, I think, is considered kind of the fan favorite, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly don't really like Spyro 2 that much. There's some elements of it that I would say are a little bit mediocre, if I'm being honest. And I could probably do a whole video talking about that. Maybe I will someday, about why Spyro 2 and 3 also just don't really resonate with me that much. I like his little footprints there. I never noticed that before. That's kind of a neat little touch there. But one thing that Spyro 2 and 3 do introduce that's very nice. So when I glide here, if I press the triangle button, Spyro just drops straight down. But in the sequel, as well as the third game, they also add swimming mechanics, which is really nice. That's another improvement over this game. But They also add, like when you press the triangle button, instead of just dropping straight down, Spyro actually gets a little boost. He gets a little extra bit of height in the air. So if you're trying to land on a platform and you glide and you just barely miss it, you press that triangle button and he kind of does a little swoop and lands up there. So it's really nice to have. And you know, in some cases, we'll see as we go along in this playthrough, you might see me die because I just barely miss a gliding section or something. Don't quite stick the landing. But yeah, it's kind of a nice little thing they added to make that a little bit easier in the second and third games. But not in a way that makes it too easy, though. It's very satisfying when you're able to pull that off. Yeah, this level here is this one can be a little bit obnoxious, trying to get all the gems. But playing this game as a kid, or even probably even as a teenager, you know, I never realized that you press that left analog stick, like I said, and our little dragonfly buddy will Lindar.
When you free a dragon or
Chocolate
step on one of the
Lindar
platforms,
truffles.
you're saving your
I don't
progress.
know what I'm talking about.
That could be
Anyway,
useful if you run into
this guy's a
trouble.
clockmaker,
Not
I
that you
guess.
ever run into trouble.
Got kind of a Waluigi mustache going on. Wah. No idea what he said. Couldn't really hear him because I've got my volume turned down pretty low. But yeah, hopefully we won't have too much trouble getting all the gems in this level, because where we've got Sparks here who can point us in the right direction. But I know this one always used to be kind of a frustrating one for me as a kid, which is one of the reasons I didn't jump into it straight away. Because I think this is technically the level you're supposed to do first. But I mean, you can kind of go about it in whatever order. I like that it gives you that freedom, kind of like in Crash Bandicoot 2, where you've got all these different portals. These guys, I don't know if you can kill them with charging. I think you might have to use your flame attack, but let's see. Okay, yeah, we can charge them. These shepherds here that were just trying to whack us. You can't blame them though. I mean, we're going around, we're like burning their sheep, like just their innocent sheep. You know, like why wouldn't they try to? Like, I mean, if a dragon showed up in your yard and was just like burning everything down, killing all your livestock, the sheep, the goats, like, I'd be ready to whack Spyro upside the head too. You know. So I think we're just kind of murdering innocent animals and people here, so you know, it's not looking good for our buddy Spyro here. He thinks he's a good guy, but he's just out here committing mass murder. See, I was right. I started this video saying that we were going to be committing murder,
Spyro,
and it's all come full circle. We really are. That is an unnecessarily large paintbrush. What are you going to paint with that, realistically? I mean, seriously, like, how comfortable is that for him to hold with just two hands like the giant pencil off of SpongeBob? I don't think so. And then I think he was telling us something there about being able to glide. So we can glide over here to the edge of the map and find some more collectibles. They got a invisible wall here to keep us from going further. I like how it's not just an invisible wall like in Mario 64. They even had kind of a similar effect to this in the original game, but it's actually like I don't know, it's like there's a vortex or something, like a what's the word I'm looking for? A force field keeping us held in there. So I think that's kind of a neat touch. You know, instead of just having an invisible wall, just like, well, for video game reasons, you can't go there. It just makes it a little bit more organic. It's a little bit more believable. It makes you question, though, why we're not allowed to leave. Like, what's the lore explanation here? Are they like, are we in some kind of like internment camp? Like, what's happening? Is this like some kind of a neo-fascist regime where everyone's just kind of under the rule of some imperial dictator who just won't let his people leave? Are we in North Korea? Is that what's happening right now? Spyro's in North Korea. I think I might have referenced North Korea in my Mario 64 or my Crash playthrough, so I don't know why North Korea keeps being a topic of conversation. I think there might be another one of those mummy guys up here somewhere. I'm going to keep a lookout. I'm also going to keep a lookout for some extra gems we might be missing. Yeah, there's a couple. That might be the ones. There's a couple gems that I always miss on this level, and I run around for ages trying to find it, but that might be it. There's another one here. So, you know, just keeping our eyes peeled for more gems, more gemming gems. The gems come so much more naturally to Spyro than they do Crash. In Crash, you get one gem per level. That's only if you find, like, all the boxes. Spyro, he's got, like, 1,000,000 gems. Like, the whole plot of Crash 2, like, we got to get all 25 gems or whatever to stop Dr. Cortex's evil machine. Spyro, that's like pocket change. It's like 25 cents. Like if Crash just like went over to Spyro and was just like, hey, can I borrow just a few gems? Like he's not gonna miss him. What I'm saying is that Crash is broke. But yeah, there's some more gems down here at the beach. So let's hop down here and get those. There's our little portal that takes us to the end of the level here. That'll kick us out. Are there any more? There's some more stuff in here. Let's grab this real quick, and then we will head down to the beach. Make sure I'm not missing anything else through here. And yes, I am. And actually, I thought about something else that we are missing as well. There's like a little well that we can fall down into. No, let's not do it yet, because actually there's a key that we need to get down by the beach. So let's get that here real quick. Right after we free Astor. That sounds like a Undertale character. What's Asgore? Is that the one Undertale person's name? It's like one of the goat people. I don't know. I've never finished Undertale. I played a little bit of it. I have seen somebody play through the I guess it was the pacifist route. Never been the biggest Undertale guy, but I can respect the guy who made it, Toby Fox, quite a lot, because I think it was pretty much a one-man project. The music's great. To give Undertale credit where credit's due, I do love the music, but yeah, just the gameplay and everything else. I don't know if it's really for me. The story, it's got some pretty emotional parts to it. Pretty good, I guess. You got different options, of course. The story plays out differently depending on the if you go for the genocide route or the pacifist route. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of these days I can go back into it. I'll go back to it, and maybe it'll click with me. We've got Gavin. Oh, he's got a cup of tea or coffee. Not sure what he's drinking, but that'd be handy there to have a tail. It's just an extra appendage to hold thing. He has a mustache. Why does that dragon have a mustache and not just like a? I think some of the other dragons have like a big long beard, and it's like, oh, that's kind of sacred. That's kind of a But that was just like a little. That's like my dad's mustache. Why does that dragon have my dad's mustache? I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable. But anyway, let's. So we're missing, I think, 2 gems. So let's get Sparks to point us in the right direction here. It's probably up on top if I had to wager a guess. Yeah, that seems to be where he is pointing to. So let's go back up to the top here. This music's very nostalgic. I need to check and see, is this the because you can change what you have it set to. Sound. Okay, yeah, this is the remastered music. I wasn't sure. You can change it to sound classical, like the original PS1 music tracks, or the modern music. We'll just leave it as modern for now. I'm not sure which. I might prefer the original, which I don't know how much of that is nostalgia or not. But I don't know the name of the guy who composed the music originally, but I think he's kind of a pretty renowned guy. Maybe, I don't know. I think maybe he did the music for some semi-famous band or something back in the day. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I could just be making that up, but I think that's the thing. I don't know what band, but yeah, I think he's kind of a prolific guy, and they brought him back as like a consultant for the remake, so he kind of gave some pointers to the new composer who did the remade music, but they didn't get him to do it directly, which is kind of weird. I don't fully understand that. If you brought the guy back, why not just get him to do the remixes? But I don't know. But so yeah, I would say probably most people prefer the originals, and maybe we'll switch over to the classic music at some point. I'm not sure, but for right now, we're just going to keep on keeping on. And I want to say this might be our last level for this world, and it's a boss level, quote unquote. The bosses in this game are not exactly great. That's one low point. Like they don't have like a health meter or anything. You hit them 3 times and they're dead, but they don't really fully fight back. Like they might kind of try to hit you, but they mostly just run away from you. So it's kind of the bosses in this game are really lame. That's kind of one knock against Spyro 1, and Spyro 2 and 3 actually did have proper boss fights, but I would honestly say they were even worse because just like the camera's not great, and they're just really annoying. But yeah, so this level is called Toasty, which is the name of the boss we'll be fighting, Toasty. And for whatever reason, these dogs used to scare me a lot as a kid, which they were maybe more scary in the PS1 version. I don't fully remember what they looked like. But yeah, you get close and they hop at you and try to crush you like that. You've got to breathe fire on them 2 times, so they're a little tricky to kill. And if you don't burn them 2 times back to back quickly enough, then they will, dogpile you during that window of opportunity. Dogpile, no pun intended. And yeah, so they can be a little on the tricky side to kill. This is another level with a very pretty skybox. We got kind of this orange, reddish orange kind of sunset thing going on here. You can see the water down below. The water effect looks a little weird. I don't know fully how I feel about that reflection texture or whatever they did to achieve that look. I don't know. But yeah, another really pretty sky here. We've got the orange, and orange is not even one of my favorite colors. It's probably toward the bottom, which some of that could be because I'm from Kentucky, and there's kind of heated rivalry in the sports world with like Kentucky and then like the Tennessee Volunteers. Even though I'm not a sports fan at all, I don't care about sports. Like I'm not even remotely interested. But it's just one of those things. I guess just when you got so many people around you, it's all just like boo to the Vols, go Kentucky Wildcats or whatever, go Big Blue. Blue's always been my favorite color, and maybe that's part of the psychological reason why. Maybe there's some cultural reasons for that, and for why orange is one of my least favorite. We've got some paintings here. I don't know this for sure. I wonder if these paintings are supposed to be like some of the concept art. Like, that's kind of neat. I think that might be from a hub area in the second game, I want to say. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, and I think that might be from the second game as well. So yeah, this might all be concept art, maybe, that was done for the remake. I'm sure that wouldn't have been there in the original game because, obviously the second and third Spyro games hadn't been made yet. But yeah, it's kind of a neat little detail there. I like when they do stuff like that. I don't know if you call it an Easter egg. It's kind of hard to miss those pictures there, but it's a neat little thing. This is kind of a short level. All of the ones with bosses, again in quotes because it's not really a boss fight, but are pretty short. Maybe only around like 100 or so gems to collect, as opposed to like saying the hub area we had about like 400 or 500, I think. Rescue Nevin here. He's got his little paints. Where's purple? He's got blue. He's got red, yellow. Then he's got his some secondary colors. He's got green and orange. Where's purple? That's your last. He's got all the other primary and secondary colors, but why not purple? I don't know. Maybe he's just not mixed it up yet. But yeah, there's our boss, and he looks kind of intimidating to look at. He's got like kind of the Grim Reaper's scythe, but with like I get some strong Billy and Mandy vibes from this guy. If you ever watched the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, he's got the scythe. Seems like I might have been scared of this guy too as a kid. He's got the scythe, but then he's got the pumpkin head, like Jack the pumpkin. Sorry to say the Pumpkin King, but that's Nightmare Before Christmas. But what was Jack's name from the Halloween Billy and Mandy special? I don't know. We just got to burn this guy 3 times. And you can see he's actually just a sheep on stilts. So, again, the bosses in this game are kind of pathetic. If I get close, he might swing his sickle at me, but that's about all he can do. Now I just got to hit him one more time, and he's dead. He's donezo. Let's kill the... Oh, and we got flat... Oh, we actually died. Okay. So not a flawless playthrough like our Mario 64 playthrough. I did not realize my health was that low. I really hate those dog enemies, because it is kind of tricky here, because I don't know, when they leap in the air like that, they hone right into you. And again, if you don't time it just perfectly, he's gonna they're gonna get you. So maybe I shouldn't have roasted this guy, no pun intended, so soon, because I technically did lose to the boss, I guess you could say, even if it was just his underling who was stronger than he is. Now he'll try to whack us with his little stilt there if we get close. So what's that made of? Is it a bunch of nails sticking out of it? At first I thought that was bones, but I think that's nails. But yeah, we'll kill that sheep. Maybe we don't need to feel bad then. Maybe Spyro's not out here killing a bunch of innocent sheep. Either that guy's out for revenge because he knows that we murdered his brethren and all of his brothers and sistren, and he's looking for brothers and sisters. I don't think sistren's a word. I was thinking of SpongeBob when he says brethren and sistren from the jellyfish episode where he wants to live among the jellyfish. But yeah, we're done with that level there. And we'll probably wrap this playthrough up here in a second. I think that's we've been recording about 40 minutes. I forgot there is the flying level. I'm not a big fan of the flying levels, but we'll do it, and then we'll be, I think, 100% done with this first world here, Sunny Flight, which for some reason I misread as Skinny Flight the first time. But yeah, we can do little barrel rolls or somersaults here, whatever you call these. Do a barrel roll. It's a Star Fox reference, which I heard apparently that's not actually a barrel roll. Apparently a barrel roll is a different kind of maneuver. I don't know. But anyway, we got these flying levels, and what we need to do, I don't remember the best strategy. There's a lot of trial and error where you tend to die or run out of time. I guess you don't actually die, but run out of time on these. You just have to keep playing them over and over again. But you have to destroy all of the targets within a set time limit. You can see we've got 27 seconds. And once we destroy the targets, then we get a little extra time. So we destroyed all of the barrels there. But there's other collectibles. There's like maybe 4 or 5 different types of collectibles to get. So now we've got these treasure chests. We got to break all of them within the time limit. I think there's maybe like 8 of each type or something like that. I can't really count right now. I'm trying not to get too distracted here because where we are on a time crunch. But yeah, so we've got all of the gold chests there, or whatever those are supposed to be, and then we've got these arches we got to go through, these archways, and then we've got, I think, maybe some enemies in biplanes flying around that we got to take care of, and then I think that's it. I could be wrong about that. If you get close down to the water, I like how you can see, it's a nice little effect they added for the remake, where Spyro, like kind of the wind from Spyro's wings or whatever, is kind of kicking up some light waves in the water below. I think that's a really neat detail. I probably won't show that to you again, though, at least not on purpose, because if we just touch the water, then we instantly lose the challenge. So I'm going to try my best to avoid doing that. Got 2 more plane guys here. Got 1 left. Spyro is now the Red Baron. And then we got 1 more gate here, and then I think we're done. So yeah, not too bad, all things considered for that one. But as we get further along into the game, they get really annoying because, like, you have to go in the correct order. And again, it's kind of a trial and error thing of figuring that out. Because you know, let's say maybe you go for the archways first, and then, you know, maybe, well, you should have done this other thing first, because now it throws off the pattern, and it's like, there might be a way to get them all, regardless of which order you go in, but some ways are definitely a lot easier than others if that's the case. And so yeah, fortunately that first one's not too bad, but I do dread as we get into the later ones, especially because I think, and like where I was talking, I wasn't paying too much attention, but I think the controls are inverted there, where you gotta like press up to go down and down to go up, which a lot of games did back in the 90s to, I guess, replicate like the, you know, like if you're piloting like a plane or whatever. But we got Marco the Balloonist here. Where's Polo? Great commentary. That's what y'all came here to hear, is my original hilarious commentary. But yeah, we'll go on to the Peacekeepers world, because we got plenty enough dragons, because I think that is what he said, was dragons. But yeah, I don't like inverted flight controls, and as far as I know, I think in the remake, I don't think they added an option where you can change that to uninvert the y-axis. I had to go back to my math days to think, like, is it the z-axis or the x-axis or the y-axis? Like, I'm pretty sure it's y. Y is vertical, and then x is horizontal, and then z's are forward and back. Never took a math class where we dealt in the z-axis, I don't think. I think it was always just x and y. Charting your parabolas. Shout out to my high school teacher, Mr. Creech, who may or may not watch this. I don't know. I know he saw my at least part of my Mario 64 playthrough. So if you're watching this, Mr. Creech, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. But no, I think that will be a wrap for the video. He used to call me Ninja, by the way. I was my full name's Aaron Rowe, but he would call me Ninja Rowe because I was like a real quiet kid. I didn't say much, so just this idea that I was just a stealthy, just ninja going around. Still kind of a quiet guy. That's why my channel's named Nintendrovert, because Nintendo and introvert. I think I've explained that already once before. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap for our first episode. We've been playing for about 45 minutes. We beat the first world. I don't know if we're going to stick to a world per episode or not, because some of these worlds I think are probably going to get probably a decent amount longer. But we'll go ahead and call it here for our first episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you want to leave a like and subscribe, it would be greatly appreciated. If you want to leave a comment down below, let me know what your favorite Spyro game is. Let me know what you want to see next from my channel. Something I wanted to mention too real quick is that as of right now, I'm just doing playthroughs because one, it's fun, I enjoy doing this, and two, it's also kind of easy content to put out. But I do want to make more scripted and like edited videos in the future, maybe doing like reviews or just discussions or whatever. So let me know what you want to see from this channel, and I might not even limit it. Sparks, he's waving bye to the camera. I forgot he does that if you stay idle long enough. He comes over and waves bye. But yeah, let me know what you want to see in terms of other playthrough series you'd like me to do on this channel, and also if you want me to do anything. What other kind of content you want to see me do. But yeah, that'll be a wrap for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will end this video by sending Spyro on a oceanic voyage to the depths below. God rest his soul. Alright, bye guys.